we are going through some tough times with the coronavirus. It's affecting our lives. It's affecting everyone's lives. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, when I first started hearing about this about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I didn't think anything of it. Some virus going on over in China. Did not think that it would be affecting my life whatsoever. And I realized very quickly that, oh yes, it is. Emerald City Comic Con, canceled. Mm-hmm. South by Southwest, canceled. Viva Las Vegas, canceled. Tiki Oasis, Arizona, canceled. In Seattle, which is where we're at right now, there is a law that's passed, and no gatherings larger than 250.
Mm-hmm. And they're making that smaller now. Governor Inslee has made it even tighter, and they're going to be putting out new information as of Monday.
Wow.
So and they've closed all public buildings and gathering places.
Yeah.
So museums, libraries, you name it, it's closed.
Flying as we speak, no more any flights to Europe.
No flights to Europe or the UK, that's new. And they're talking about severely slowing or shutting down the ports of entry that are connected with large outbreaks, which includes Seattle and New York City.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I would be making a video about a virus or this. But I was talking to Jeanie, and the thing is, it's like, you got to live your life. I mean, you do what you can to be safe and to keep others safe, but you got to still do what you want to do. And obviously, we are both into tiki. And Jeanie has some ideas on how you can still enjoy the tiki lifestyle and still be safe.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I want to ask Jeanie a couple questions about the virus, because, well, tell them what you do.
Okay, so that I'm not speaking above my pay grade, I am a specialty respiratory caregiver, and a part of that is training in infection control to be mitigated for the clients that I care for. And I care for special populations, people with respiratory disorders such as post-polio syndrome or MDA, or anything that affects the musculoskeletal system around the lungs and the pulmonary system. On top of that, myself, I'm sort of a canary in the coal mine, and so I have a suppressed immune system. So I tend to be on the forefront of any new knowledge that's coming out because I am a voracious reader and I deeply care about the people that are around me. And so I don't tend to be an alarmist, but I do tend to be a fact-based realist. And so the information I'm going to share with you is documentable in other places, and I urge you to look them up and read up yourself on specifically the websites for the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, and the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, which are easily Googleable. Also, the progression of the virus we'll talk about was recently a large full-page spread in the Seattle Times and can be easily looked up. So I urge you to get more information on what is current, because this virus adapts and evolves, and our knowledge of it evolves on an hourly and daily basis. So please get the most current information and do not give in to internet trolling or people that would prey on you on social media. So that was my big spot for go get the real information. So from what I know about the virus itself is like a flu virus, but it is not. A coronavirus is the basis of most of the common colds that you have experienced throughout your lifetime. What makes this special is it is a novel coronavirus. Therefore, it is a modified virus shell that has some special abilities that we are unaccustomed to, but unfortunately, the ability to spread like the common cold. It also is very, very able to live for long periods of time, more than 3 days, on surfaces, and it is usually passed by either droplet presentation or fomate, which are physically having someone cough or sneeze within a 6-foot radius of you, or cough or sneeze onto an item you're going to touch, and then you touch your face, or you touch a mucous membrane, or an orifice or opening of your body, and then the virus will gain entry. So the biggest thing you need to know, wash your hands. Wash them frequently. Wash them for 20 seconds or more. Don't just put soap on and rinse soap off, because that doesn't do any good. You really want to actually have a foaming action there. It's really simple. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Limit your social mobility to people. So, as you can see, we're pretty close here, but we both have been temperature checked, and we have disinfected ourselves, and we're in a very small group. So use a Kleenex, throw it away in the proper receptacle. Don't be leaving those out for people to see. And use your PPE wisely. Your medical professionals need things like gloves and masks and suits to be available to them to help you. You want to keep your medical caregivers in their wrappers so that they're available to help you when you need it.
You know, I think what you were telling me is like the mask, if you wear the mask, that's not going to prevent you from getting anything. It's just more for if you have something to prevent you from spreading it to other people. Is that right?
It will help mitigate you spreading it. So a mask, especially when it becomes wet from you coughing or sneezing in it, is a disease vector in itself, because this thing lives in fomate. Now that's on a surface, or somebody handling that mask and handling their face, right?
Yep.
So the mask is to keep that cough out of a 6-foot radius and closer to a 3, because it can go around the edges. The only masks that are truly effective for keeping virus off you are the ones that are custom fitted to you, that are a plastic shield with a full fan system that has onrushing air away from your mucous membranes, and they are used by medical professionals in infectious disease scenarios. So if you're thinking you're going to get one of those off the internet, know that you have to be custom fitted for them to actually work.
Yeah.
Other things you should probably be thinking about, you know how everybody's gone really nuts with hand sanitizer? There is nothing that replaces actually washing your hands. You can use hand sanitizer in situations where you can't get to a sink, but really, instead of dipping yourself in Purell, really, you should just be using the soap there. So, but we're talking about tiki situations.
Yeah. Well, right off the bat, drinks, sharing drinks. Say hypothetically, I have the virus. Say I cough, and I touch my drink, and I give it to you.
You have just handed me the virus.
That simple.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I would say, right off the bat, I love sharing drinks just as much as anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But until all this gets sorted out,
keep your drink to yourself.
Keep your drink to yourself.
If they want one that tastes like that, they'll order it. So let's talk a little bit about restaurants, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, in an ideal situation here with social distancing, there's 6 feet between you and the person next to you. Your average table is smaller than that. So know who you're dining with. Hopefully they're with members of your own household that you've spent all your time with, or friends that you know who've had their temperature checked before you go out together, so that you know everybody's safe. Because, you know, it's not about whether or not you personally will survive this. It's about, will your grandma? Will your friend who has an immune suppressant problem? Will it be the person who has asthma? You know, it's not just about thinking about yourself these days. It's about thinking about who do you love and who do other people love and how do you protect them. So if you're going to go out to dinner and you need to, you can order out from your favorite restaurant. I mean, Grubhub really covers a lot of ground. There's other places, ways you can order. But, you know, last I checked, you can't get alcoholic beverages delivered to your door. So if you want to go out for a tiki drink, call ahead. Check in with your favorite restaurant. See if they're closed or open. See what they are doing in the way of protocols. Like, for example, we were talking about Devil's Reef earlier. Devil's Reef is doing extra sanitation way above and beyond what is ordered by the health department and
Yep.
things like that to ensure that their patrons are treated as safely as possible in uncertain times. And eschew large gatherings while you can. I adore the burlesque community. I adore live music and shows. I feel for those people that are going to lose their livelihoods because people can't go out and enjoy them. Find other interesting and useful ways that you can help support the things you love so that they'll still be here when all of this is done and blows over, or how they have developed a vaccine. We're talking 12 to 18 months before they have a really FDA-approved, reliable drug out there. Vaccines are your friend. Just to let you know, vaccines are your friend. They're part of the reason why we become so complacent about our sanitation. In the old days, you could get the mumps. You could have all sorts of problems with infectious disease and the measles. We've seen some of that happening with people who don't believe in vaccines. But those vaccines gave us the freedom of herd immunity that for years we haven't really had to be concerned about it.
Yeah.
And now we have to be again. Our nightmare was something really deadly that is as easy to transmit as the common cold. And that is what we have now.
Yeah. Never in my life have I experienced anything like this before. It's really eye-opening.
The last time we've had something involved in this many continents was 1918.
1918.
Yep, and in 1918, they did not have the technology they have today. In fact, they had barely been able to see bacteria, underneath a microscope. It wasn't until the invention of the electron microscope that they were actually able to see and differentiate between viruses.
Yeah.
So, it's been really since like the 1940s or 50s that they know what viruses are and what they look like. And this one is particularly vicious. So,
You were saying that the virus has a hook.
Yeah, so from what I've understood from the reading,
Literally.
that this particular virus has the ability to really zero in on the lower parts, the lower lobes of the lung, and it kind of hooks its way in to the tissues there. So the way the lung is designed, little tiny hairs, alveoli, in the inside of the lung brush back and forth,
Yeah.
and there's sacs underneath that in the cell structure that help with the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide as your body. So when you breathe, intake oxygen and outtake carbon dioxide, right? So what happens with this disease is it comes in, it hooks onto that area, and especially if you are weakened in any way in the pulmonary system, if your heart is weak and you don't pump, the water out of your lungs effectively, or if you have asthma, or you have anything that would give you a weakened immune system, this is where you're going to be in trouble. So it comes in, it hooks on, and it is a viral pneumonia, not a bacterial pneumonia. You cannot treat a viral pneumonia with antibiotics. You can support the body to help it not become a bacterial pneumonia, but until a viral pneumonia has run its course, all you can do is support the individual, and this is where we're in trouble. Because there are only so many ventilation devices and heart-lung machines available in any given area, and they can be overwhelmed with too many cases. Hence, social distancing, so that we can flatten that curve out and not overwhelm our health system. Because when you overwhelm the health system, then things really go down the tubes.
Yep. So at this point in the game, do what you can to help spread, not help spread the virus.
But spread good information.
Yeah.
There is nothing better for this virus than social distancing, washing your hands, and not touching your face.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're going to have a get-together,
Make it small.
Make it small. Say you're going to serve chips or something like that. Separate bowls.
Yeah, so we have something we're going to do later, and we've set out snacks. Everybody has their own bowl.
Yeah.
Okay? And that way you're not touching a friend's food. That's a big thought there. Everybody who's decided to come over, everybody's had their temperature taken. Everybody's thought about their pathway before they've gotten here.
And another thing too is like seriously, if you're not feeling right,
Stay home.
if you're feeling under the weather, just be honest with yourself and with your friends.
There is no event important enough to endanger yourself or others.
Yeah.
There'll always be another party. There'll always be another concert. What we can do now is mitigate or change our behavior to help the people who are going to be impacted financially and to still see our friends and not be socially isolated. There are many ways to interact with your friends. Don't require you to do the huggy kissy and the real close touch.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is if you're going to choose to dine out and support your local tiki establishment, call ahead, see what sanitation controls they're doing, if that makes you comfortable or not. That'll give you information into whether or not you want to do that and go there.
Yep.
You can also carry a little PPE kit with you. Being prepared is an awesome thing and not just for Scouts BSA. They're saying. So, carrying a tiny pack of bleach wipes with you, little teeny thing of Purell. Nothing stops you from when you enter the restaurant of wiping down your own table with your own bleach wipe. You do your best.
Let's talk about dogs.
Oh, so who let the dogs out? By the way, that's the WHO. And there was a dog that was in soft quarantine because they found the virus on the dog. And this, I think, was in Hong Kong. Since that time, the WHO has tested out and quarantined the animal and done their evaluation. And what they felt was that the dog had only the virus on them because it was fomated from their owner and that the dog was not a carrier. So the dog was released from quarantine. So who let the dogs out? So don't worry about transmission from your dog.
Yeah, your dogs are the least of the problem. Hopefully, Jeanie, this will pass over within a couple months and we can get back to our regular living.
Yeah.
But seriously, for right now, do what you can.
And some of the best suggestions I have for you is if you want to support your local tiki bar, buy yourself a gift certificate to use later.
Yeah.
Buy your friend a gift certificate for them to use later. Or carefully attend your favorite bar, maybe on historically low nights.
Yeah, go on a low night. They would need that business anyway.
Yeah. And,
those are the nights that I like to go anyways.
Yeah, so find careful ways to do what you're going to do and follow, by all means, the strictures, edicts, and suggestions of the WHO and your local government, because it's going to be different everywhere and it could change daily. So other than that, by the way, just a side note, if you run out of hand sanitizer, whoops, there went the Tiki Man.
We had to have a little element of humor in this video.
So, one thing you should know is if you run out of hand sanitizer, do know that 151 and grain alcohol spirits, such as Everclear, are alcohol, and you can scrub your hands with them if you really need to. And you know what? Rum smells a lot better than Purell.
Yes, it does. Cheers. Thank you, Jeanie. I can't believe I knocked over the Moai thing.
Have you been drinking the hand sanitizer?
No, I've been drinking this drink. and this. It wouldn't be a Tiki with Ray episode without me having at least a couple drinks in me.
Kill that devil. Kill it with alcohol.
Cheers. We didn't even hit the glasses.
Well, yeah, no, we're afraid to. There you go.
Hey gang, we'll get back to the Tiki conversation here in just a second, but I want to let y'all know they have t-shirts for sale. They are screen printed in America. The artist is Tony Canepa, and they're They're going for $20 a piece, $25 including shipping. If you're interested in buying one, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and then there's a tab that says buy a t-shirt. Click on there and just follow the prompts. So thank you very much. And let's get back to the Tiki conversation now. Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.